Architect conception. Architect conceptions.
Hey, how you doing? Says your name is Lady America. All right. My name is King. I'll be taking your pictures. Get comfortable. All right. I want to get your good side, not your bad side. All right.
It's like we living in a world of alternative facts. Hurricane snipers aim got us shaking like craps. 7 be the essence as 11 refreshing perhaps. Trying to clip my mind off of these hit tracks. Lack wisdom, keep living to young lost souls in prison. We ain't forget about you. Study what's hidden in the gems of the hymns from the rims divine vision. Come out much stronger, last longer than the system. On another note, man, I hope Donald Trump the celebrity in chiefdom return killing bills. Willpower got me looking at my treadmill with a donut. Plus I need a decent car before these gas prices blow up. Hold up, was that too real to appeal to those who want illusion, custom bodies, clout and high heels? I'm underpaid, overworked, overqualified. It's apparent I'm a parent, so my truth is rather justified. Hide behind an image, man, what the fuck for? My nuts forever hang while you rappers tuck yours. I said my nuts forever hang while you rap. Seems like this whole world is snap like a photo shoot. Shit is crazy, keep your loved ones close to you. This country wild and hard to tell, man, who is who. Wish I could put the world on pause, see a slew of fools. Seems like the whole world is snapped like a photo shoot. Shit is crazy, keep your loved ones close to you. Our country wildin' hard to tell, man, who is who. Wish I could put the world on pause, see a slew of fools.
All right, now you're doing real good. All right, I'm gonna Photoshop these right here. I want to get your good side. A little bit of your real side is coming out. I don't want them to see that.
Shit is crazy, keep your loved ones close to you. Our country wildin' hard to tell, man, who is who. Wish I could put the world on pause, see a slew of fools.
Peace, everyone. We are live here for another dope episode of Let's Get Activated podcast. This is episode number 185. We are streaming live right now on YouTube and Facebook. This is your girl, Same. So I have my returning alumni here in the building.
Yeah.
We have a dope, new album out, Heart of a King. Let's welcome back King Kamal.
Peace. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me back. I'm man, it feels like deja vu, you know what I mean? I keep getting invited back, so I must be doing something right.
Yes, you're doing your thing. We definitely have to share, this dope album. It just dropped on Monday, the 20th. You're welcome. So we definitely got to talk about it.
Oh, indeed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's start off with the title, Heart of a King.
Heart of a King. Well, when you think of the heart, you know what I mean? You mean it's like the center, like the core of who you are. And my name is King, you know what I mean? Not just a stage name or alias. It's my name. As a 5%, it's also my righteous name. And that's just how I get down, you know what I mean? And everything that I do is from the heart, you know what I mean? And I just felt like the title of this album was like so fitting because, the 11th letter in the supreme alphabet and the 120 lessons of the 5% is the king, you know what I mean? I'm a ruler, you know what I'm saying, of my kingdom, you know what I'm saying, wherever I dwell, squaring off, cutting off all negativity and leave my kingdom, meaning those around me that entrust me with their life and their well-being in, my hands to lead them out of like mental darkness into the light of truth. You know what I mean? So it's so much that comes into play, like I said, the 11th letter of the alphabet, 11 songs, you know what I mean, and just my name in general, and just another dope project that's coming from the heart, you know what I mean? Like that's what I do.
Definitely, that's peace. So we're gonna start it off. We started it off with the beginning track, Cinema. Let's talk about Cinema.
Yeah, cinema is one of my favorites, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to like overdo it. I didn't want to overthink it, you know. Usually some people have tracks that are like 2 verses long with a hook, 3 verses. You don't have a lot of 3 verses like anymore like they used to. I think it might be due to some people's attention span, but me, I kept it short and simple to the point because um I kind of like look at the day and time of what's going on, you know what I mean, as far as like politics without being political. Um, just in this day and age, it just seems like we're living in one big horror movie mixed with one big dark comedy, mixed with a comedy, mixed with a sad movie to where it seems like the world is in such a trying place right now to where we're like on the stage, like everybody seems like a character, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just like, everybody seems like they're a character in this day and age. So, I said cinema, like action, you know what I mean? So when you hear me talking at the end of the song right before the hook comes back in, I'm speaking to America in general as if it was a woman, you know, or not to be sexist or nothing like that, you get what I'm saying,
Right.
but somebody that's like a model trying to hide their blemishes and things and stuff and photoshopping and not being their natural selves, you know what I mean? So that's the angle that I was coming from and why I called it cinema, because it seems like we're like living in one big movie of various emotions, and you got people who are official, you got people that are real, and you got people that are playing the villain, and you got people that are acting very unhinged, but everybody, you can't tell who's acting, who's being real. So it's like one big cinema.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
I love the take on it. I love the take on, kind of the comparisons, like, model, but it's actually America. I'm already picturing a visual of it in my head.
Oh
Very
yeah.
dope, creative, creative
Yeah.
process on that one.
Oh yeah. Peace to everybody in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? And peace and love to you all. You know what I mean? Peace, love, and blessings. We here. You know what I mean?
Definitely, we are here. It's peace and it's activated. So,
Mhm.
song 2, we have Something in the Air.
Something in the air is kind of simple, like as far as like the meaning, like there's nothing deep and philosophical about it or nothing like that. It was just pretty much like having fun. When I first heard the track, I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It had that seductive, like little twist to it, wind your hip type track and everything. I said, you know what? Since I have like the bars and the gritty beats and all that and everything, the soulful sample loops and the whole nine, I said, you know what? As usual, as I usually do, let me create something to make backpackers angry, since they try to always be tough and try to keep the female element out of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you need that balance. You know what I mean? So that was a little bit of something that was on a lighter note. You know what I mean? Like, and I call it something in the air, because when I think of a good fragrance or something, like something being cooked, or a fragrance like a perfume or something like that, I think of like the feminine aspect of things as far as like woman. So that's what the track was dedicated to. You know what I'm saying? To the female listener. Like, I don't believe in making a whole bunch of tracks for exclusively for men. I just
Right.
don't do it. Like, that's not balance. You know what I mean? And one of the key to life to me is balance. You know what I'm saying? Peace,
Definitely.
Jewel. Peace, Chicago Rilla. Peace, Fred Rock. You know what I'm saying? Just sending them a shout out.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no problem. They here, and we have song number 3. We have "Say That."
Yeah, say that is a song about not changing who you are as a good person, but changing who you're good to. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people with good hearts, big hearts, uh, become prey to those who take advantage of their kindness. You know what I mean? I think everyone has been there and they can relate to it where they, they have such a big heart and they want to like help everybody or be instrumental in their lives and stuff. And it's just a song basically that's just, it talks about that and it also explains how you should be careful while doing that. Like, don't let it make your heart grow cold. Don't let it make you bitter. Don't, stop being a good person. If you change anything, change the people, um, change the people who you're like giving that love to. You know what I mean? The people that are more deserving of it. Know when to cut ties and know when to cut certain things off uh, when you feel that you're being taken advantage of or not appreciated.
I agree. That truly resonates. That's called protecting your peace.
Indeed, indeed, you got to. You know what I mean? That's a part of like mental health. You know what I mean? And your mental health should come first before anything. You know what I mean? Like it's, I don't see it as being selfish. I see it as being selfless. You know what I mean? Because usually when people hear the word self, they immediately just run with selfish. But some people do say sometimes you got to be a little bit selfish when it comes to putting yourself first. Hey, whatever, however you want to word it, you have to put yourself first and you can't be feeling guilty about doing that. So that's kind of pretty much what I've been pushing off and on throughout this album, like the message in it. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree. Hey, self love, you can't feel guilty because individuals that might have done something wrong, to you in general, they're not sitting around feeling guilty. So
At
why should
all.
you?
At all. At all. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, but you know what I'm saying? We still keep it moving. We still keep on rocking because no matter what, life goes on whether you want it to or not. So why not go on with it? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So then now we have song 4, Mecca featuring Alanda Rich.
Yeah. Mecca, it was inspired by a couple elements. Like when people think of Mecca, they think of like, the Middle East and everything like that. And it's kind of like a metaphor, you know what I mean? Like the way I wrote it, it was more like me explaining and describing my appreciation for the original woman in general with knowledge of herself and who she is and who she knows herself to be. It was a dope track, you know what I mean? Like I worked with a phenomenal songwriter once before named Alanda Rich, who's been featured on a lot of major platforms with a lot of major recording artists, rappers, and singers. I mean, she's very dope. So, any of y'all out there, please check out Alanda Rich, as well. Like, she was very professional. She was very cool. She was down to earth, and she worked fast, just like me. Like if I do a feature with someone and they say, yo, I need a verse, this, that, and the third, and all that. Me, if I'm not already swamped and busy with a bunch of things, I'll have the verse back to you like between 30 minutes to an hour. But if you're like, hey, just take your time with it, I'll probably have it back to you probably like in a couple days, the most. But, I really try to put a rush on things without rushing the quality. You know what I mean? But Alanda Rich when I reached out to her because we worked together before on a song that I did called Interpretations. This time, instead of her like singing what I had wrote, oh man, it was so dope. Like I created what I created and then I sent it to her and I just said, do what you do. You know what I mean? I said, listen to the song, do what you do what you feel. And it was just like, it came out like it came out. It was so dope. I did me and she did herself as a creative expert as she is, you know? So Mecca is a tribute and a dedication to the original woman in general with knowledge of herself and who she is. So that's how I came up with it. And I called it Mecca because I've always been fond of like, you know, Middle Eastern culture and stuff and Arabic and all of that, you know, given my background. And I just really like the name Mecca. So I just wanted to call the song that, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful name, beautiful meaning, you know, definitely beautiful collaboration, you know, it worked out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so next we've got Collateral Beauty.
Yeah, Collateral Beauty. Collateral Beauty, you know, it's no mystery when people hear the instrumentation, you know, it was from the original track that a few artists had like, you know, touched starting with Jay-Z's song Cry. And it was like, you know what? I was like, you know what, I could easily just chop some drums, add bass lines and this, that, and the third. But I said, nah, you know what? I said, I want to keep that orchestral sound where it has a big band type of vibe to it. Like I wanted to keep it mature. You know, I didn't want to make it gritty and grimy or anything like that because I like to stretch myself and rock over things that a lot of so-called rappers and so-called lyricists aren't really quick to like rock over. You know what I mean? So I wanted to keep it smooth and whatnot. You know what I mean? And the only thing that I wanted to be hip hop about the track was me, myself in general. So Collateral Beauty is about many of us who unfortunately, you know, have toxic traits that stem from things we fought to overcome, you know, because of, you know, it's like hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? And when you pinpoint, you know, that nobody is perfect when it comes to this particular type of game that many call love or relationships and bonds and stuff, you realize that everyone has their own baggage. And when you realize your own and you deal with self first, it kind of makes you more compassionate. It makes you, or you should have compassion to realize, in a sense, that, you know, how people say collateral damage. You
Right.
know, I didn't want to say collateral damage because I wanted to say, you know, we're still beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like in some kind of way, you know what I'm saying? So I thought the title Collateral Beauty was like dope.
It is dope,
Hmm.
yeah. And taking accountability, that's important.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is. Like it touched on many different things. Peace to AJ Throwback and Liberated Soul Rebel. Peace.
Mhm. Peace, everybody here in the building. So next we've
Mhm.
got Illusions featuring Jus Wordz.
Yeah, illusions. Oh man, there's layers to this song. The way I wrote it, it was during a time where a lot was going on in Minnesota, like way before George Floyd, you know, where you had other like young men who made the news for losing their lives, to the recklessness of police brutality that was unnecessary and wasn't really called for. You know what I mean? And a couple of those situations around that time, I was inspired when I did a couple shows, you know, for a tribute for like some of those who were like fallen, victims to unnecessary police brutality. And I touch on that in the song. You know what I'm saying? I touch on Jamar Clark. I touch on various things. I touch on knowledge itself, something that I always do, because I always like to, put in there like, yo, I'm aware, I'm alert of certain things that go on because of how they go on, you know what I mean? And I called it illusions because some people can't really tell fact from fiction because the lines are so blurred, you know what I mean? Because, like Malcolm X said, if you pay attention to the media and you feed into it, I'm paraphrasing it.
Right.
If you feed into media, they'll trick you into making you think that someone who's the enemy is like, the person that's looked upon as the enemy, they're really the person that's being victimized, you know what I mean? So a lot of what they show us in Western world news, it's like they kind of present it like an illusion, you know what I mean? So when you look outside that and you really, like, as we say, as 5% as we do the knowledge, meaning we sit, we look, we listen and observe, and we be like, oh, well, this don't seem right, that don't make sense. So why are you trying to make me believe this when you said X, Y, Z and all that and everything? And that's kind of pretty much what the song touches on. I touch on the unfortunate situation going on that is yet to be handled in Flint, Michigan, with the water that's still poisoning people, you know what I'm saying? Still got our babies drinking poison. You know what I'm saying? Cops in Minnesota killed Jamar, still employed. When Black Lives Matter, let me know, because you toying, playing with our lives like it's just for your enjoyment. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I'm touching on all of those things. And a brother of mine that I go way, way back with, from the old South Side Chicago days, who's a phenomenal DJ and poet named Jus Wordz. He's the one doing the spoken word piece at the end of the song. And, I was fortunate to get him as a feature because he's such a busy individual with his hand in so many different things. Like, he wears a lot of hats like I do. So when I was able to tap him and, like, for the track, it really, really, I was like, I had to seize the moment. You know what I mean? Peace to Frank True. Peace, Aki. Yeah. So yeah, that's how illusion came about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. And I love like the ending and the spoken word. It was very, like, a very powerful way to end it as well.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like I did all I could do with the track. And if you notice, like in the beginning, I switched from what I did right before going into like the actual second verse and then the third verse. And I just kind of pretty much like, ran through that thing with different like styles and different angles, giving a piece and a shout out to the ancestor, uh, the sister that passed around that time, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. You know what I mean? Like a very powerful woman and inspiration that inspired a lot of the lyrics on this song. You know what I mean? Like, if people aren't up on Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, hit up YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Go on different like platforms and like, educate yourself on her, man. Like, she's phenomenal, man, or was phenomenal, since she made her transition, she'll always be here. You know what I mean?
Definitely remembered in perfection.
Oh yeah, always.
So now we've got gatekeepers too.
Gatekeepers too. What is there I can say about gatekeepers too? Uh, well, if you remember on the June 10th, the King June 10th album, I had a song called Gatekeepers that pretty much was touching on all of the dirty and grimy politics that goes on behind the scenes of journalism, uh, podcasters, uh, certain underground DJs and stuff, and brands uh, being very biased in the underground hip hop scene, in the indie scene. Like you always used to hear about it when it came to the commercial scene, but it's also a poison, a cancer that's also plaguing the underground scene that originally was supposed to be so organic, that was supposed to be so original, so free, where people actually appreciated you, had you on their mixtapes, because you were dope, and that was it. Had you performing because you were dope, and that was it. That will later have you on shows like nowadays, podcasts and stuff, you know, uh, and that's it, just off the strength of you being dope and people liked you. But I call a lot of those people gatekeepers because they have a lot of their homeboys on there, their homegirls, you know, people who aren't on a lot of these platforms, shows, mixtapes, and stuff, and podcasts. They're not on there because they're dope. Now, some of them may be dope, but that's not the true reason why a lot of these people are on these mixtapes and on these shows, off of being dope. It's because their homeboys or homegirls would MC so and so, and they're biased, or they may be biased towards you because you're not from uh, a certain region like New York. And I don't have no disrespect or no smoke toward New York. Like, I love New York, but underground scene wise, New York is very biased. Do you know, like, New York is so, like, New York is so pro New York that I always tell people, if you're not from New York, yeah, pay homage. Yeah, you love them. You grew up listening to them just like I did in the whole nine. They influenced you. They influenced me. They encouraged you. They encouraged me. But New Yorkers are not dumb at all by a long shot. You could dress like them. You could talk like them. You could rock over the same kind of beats. You could do like people did in the 90s and 2000s, try to use their slang and everything like that. But when they learn that you're not from New York, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's when you're gonna see how biased it is and whatnot. And New Yorkers rock with New Yorkers wholeheartedly. They're not more arms open and welcoming like people in the South are. You know what I mean? Like people in the South, like if you live in the South for at least like 5 years and you're doing hip hop in the whole nine, they embrace you. Like certain parts of the South, they embrace you like off the rip. They even notice when your accent is starting to change, and if they know that you're genuinely rocking with them and got love for them, and they know that you got Southern roots like I do, like from Brookhaven, Mississippi, and all that and everything, then they got love for you. You know what I'm saying? Like Atlanta is like my second home. You know what I'm saying? Like I love Atlanta with my whole heart. You know what I mean? Originally from Chicago, but Atlanta is also my home. And Atlanta has always had love for Chicago. You know what I mean? So I never had an issue with getting into certain outlets and getting plugged with certain people because I wasn't originally from there. You know what I mean? Like people saw that I genuinely had love for the place. You know what I mean? And not to be long-winded, but it all ties back into when you aren't from certain regions, you know what I mean? Like, or you're not down with certain cliques or journalists or DJs or podcasters and stuff like that from particular places, they kind of like try to play you, and you won't really end up on some of these people's mixtapes unless you're a feature on a song with somebody that's from their region or that they rock with. It's happened to me many times. It's happened to me all the time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, AJ Throwback, man, he know what it is, man. He
Mm-hmm.
know exactly he know exactly what it is. And a lot of people are afraid to speak on that type of stuff because they don't want to step on toes, and they want to be accepted and all that. Man, look, I'm originally from the Chi, and I come from the backpack era in the Chi, where nobody had love for us except for people from the South. Nobody had love for us except people from the South. Only time people had love for us is when they would come to town and do shows. But this was years before all that drill stuff. This was years before, people started acknowledging we had spitters and lyricists and stuff, before they knew about Common and the whole nine, before they knew about any of like the greats that came later down the line. Like, we went through a lot of stuff, just like the South had to go through a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? That's why we love New York, but many of us also had a love for the West Coast, because the West Coast kind of pretty much showed us like, you don't have to be from New York to be hip hop, and they was kicking doors in and stuff like that. So me, everywhere I've gone, or people that I rock with, I get love. But every now and then I run into that brick wall of gatekeepers and stuff, and I notice the favoritisms. I've been left off a lot of people's uh mixtapes that I was on before because I didn't do a song with MC so and so, you know what I'm saying? Like, or, you know, uh people haven't shared my stuff and all these different things because it was a project with just me and not with this person. you know I've been told all kind of excuses and reasons why, well, yeah, man, we couldn't get you on here because this, or lately I've been seeing a lot of list of independent dope MCs floating around on the internet, and they had like me. I'm not gonna act like I'm the best lyricist that ever lived, but I know for a fact, due to my hard work and being a realist with myself and knowing that I was born to do what I do, like other people have, like, I see that I get ranked very low on the same list with people that I know for a fact can't rap. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah, let's say it.
They can't rap, or they're mid, or they're just like flat out trash, or their music is boring. And that's not even a slight to throw somebody out, but if you listen to the Heart of a King album, I'm responsible for the mixing, the mastering. Um, you know, my manager picked out the beats and stuff and all that, and I knocked them out the park. You know what I mean? That's what it was. You know what I mean? True indeed, Frank True. He says skills are still universal to us real heads. We know that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's what it is. Like, the real recognize the real. And, at first when it started bothering me with all the bias stuff and everything, I had to catch myself, and I said, man, hold up. You know, I'm not gonna let a gatekeeper define me when my accomplishments as an independent artist, songwriter, and producer, you know, uh, surpasses and exceeds way beyond what they've accomplished. Like,
Mhm.
a lot of these gatekeepers, they the people that they push and put ahead of you in the line are people that make songs for a small group of like dusty backpackers and old heads that used to be dope boys and stuff like that and are now in the middle of a midlife crisis. Like, you know, I listen to my trap, I listen to my grimy stuff, I listen to my Griselda and all that in the whole nine. Them dudes are dope. They do what they do. But I see that there's a pattern of biters and stuff where it's a lot of people who, you know, they can't let go of their glory days of being a dope boy or being a goon. And they talk all that bang, bang, shoot them up and spit all that toxic stuff to these babies and stuff. And then when they get out of the studio, they going to go clock in, you know, for their transit job or their sanitation job or to go, you know, work at, you know, some health care or nursing home or things of that nature, and they go pick their kids up from daycare and all that. Like, it's like, why don't you rap about that? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not judging anybody, but it's like these are the type of people that point their finger and try to stunt on people like me for being someone who realizes that a gatekeeper doesn't define me. You keep the gate, homeboy. You don't keep me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the true and living. I'm the, you know, I'm the son of man. That's what it is. So there's no limit. There's no limit to what I can do. Like, I won't climb over that gate. I'll kick it down. You feel me?
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. You know, I'm gonna keep it honest. I don't care. I don't got nothing to lose on here. You know, I've had people unfollow me. I don't care. You know, I keep it 100. You know, I'm about pure dopeness, versatility, not one trick ponies, just making a song just for their homeboys in the studio. Like, we're not getting nowhere with that.
No, not at all.
Like, this independent thing is supposed to be about camaraderie, people coming together. Like, give people props that are dope. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it 100. I be seeing some of these lists, and there are some dope people on there, but there's some stuff I'm listening. I said, y'all think this is dope? This is back. I'm sorry. I'm keeping it 100. You know, I'm not. That's why you will never see me calling something dope if it's not dope.
Yeah.
It's overused. I'm not putting fire emojis on stuff that's dope. I see stuff coming up on Instagram and people got these videos, and I'm not a hater at all. I'm just a realist. Not everything is dope. And I don't feel like you have to, like, it's like people want to be in this in crowd. Like, no, be yourself, you know, make something that I'm still gonna want to listen to 10 years later instead of, oh shoot, I heard this, I can't take it no more.
Facts. Just like Frank True said. What you see what he said? It's suspect as hell. Nowadays it's suspect as hell. Like, these are grown men who are 40, 50 plus, like they're OGs like me. Some of them may even be my OG. Like, honestly, to me, if you sound like we live in an age now to where you have different lanes of rap now. If you want to rap like a kid and your music don't age well, then yeah, you too old to be rhyming. Right. But if you are like a common, you know what I'm saying? Like people like that are like jazz, their music ages well with them and it's timeless because you know how to make your music mature with you. Like people that make gangster shit and stuff like that. No disrespect to people that do it. But if you notice, a lot of that gangster shit don't age well when people be like 40 and 50 plus and stuff like that. And then they go perform some of these joints and stuff. And like some of the fans that are still alive, they be like rocking with it, but they be looking kind of like goofy and stuff out there and whatnot. Like it doesn't age well. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's unfortunate. Like, and it's funny how you mentioned that about people, you know, the type of people that they have on these lists, you know what I'm saying? Like AJ Throwback was saying, like, it's real biased and all of that. You know what I mean? It's crazy because I've seen people on some of these lists that didn't rap the way they rapped until I dropped certain projects. I'm not gonna say your name, but you know who you are. Like I was originally loving what you was doing, but and this is a message. I was loving what you was doing until I saw you do a couple things after I dropped some singles and you made your own version of something that I was dropping and you treated it as if it was like new, like you discovered it. I mean, I get it. Nothing's new under the sun, but there's only one King Kamal, just like there's only one you. And you know exactly who I'm talking to. Yeah, you got a lot of people in the comment section. Somebody made a couple good points. Uh, he
He has
said,
a question.
"Liberated soul rebel, and current and I'm currently in search of music of substance rather than lyrics or beat production. And based off what I've heard so far, I'm gonna check your music out, bro. Are you a music artist, producer? Yes, indeed. I appreciate you. Thank you. The link on my website and everything like that. It's out there. You know what I mean? And it'll be at the end of the interview where you can see that and check it out. You know what I mean? Yes, I am independent. I am a Billboard songwriter, artist, go recording artists without bots, without gatekeepers backing me up or anything like that. Like just hard work, just me and my team doing what we do. You know what I mean? Like we keep it moving. We put in the hard work like anybody else who works hard and who's meant to do this thing that we do called music and hip hop. You know what I mean? I make soul music, I make hip hop, I make reality music. That's what I do. You know what I mean? Like I don't try to do anything other than be me, you know, and you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference. Like none of my projects sound the same. You know what I mean? Like even after I record an album, when I get in the process of recording a new album, I don't listen to any music that I did before that because I don't believe in spinning the block and revisiting the same like spot. I keep it moving and on to the next. You know what I mean? That's what I do. You know, we keep evolving, we keep elevating. That's exactly what we do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and and I'm not dropping no names, but you got to add, you have done so many great things for people. You have made people sound way better than what they actually are. You have just done a whole lot for people. So you have a lot of talent, your production talent, the things that you do, your skills. So I just
Thank you.
wanted to add that on there. I'm just saying, respect King Kamal. That's what I'm saying.
I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, like I appreciate it. I'm humble. I'm grateful. I'm not cocky, but at the same time, I won't downplay my accomplishments and things that I worked hard to achieve to make anybody feel comfortable or make them pipe down on their jealousy or their insecurity and whatnot. Like, I was having this conversation today uh, with another fellow artist, and I said, because they were really going through it. They were like, "Yo, why do the people that I know and the people I love like hate on me behind my back and say little funny stuff, you know, and I show them love and we both started off doing the same thing, and I do it and I love what I do and I love when they went." And I said, "Man," I said, "You know what? You sound just like me at one point in time. Like that's exactly how I used to be." You know what I mean? People are going to be people and who they are no matter what. You know, I know it's not a played out, I know it's a overused saying from the late great Dr. Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. They know themselves better than you do. No matter how long you know somebody, no matter how much love you had for them and stuff, you know, a hater is going to be a hater.
Mm-hmm.
You just continue to have love in your heart, and you continue to do what you got to do, and you continue to work on your music. Oh man, like this the chat, man, is like popping. Are there any more questions? I see Liberated
Um,
Soul like
he's,
really cooking tonight.
he's giving you your props,
I
basically. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Like, I'm grateful. I'm humble, man. Like, this Heart of a King album. Like I said, I I put my all in everything that I've done. Like, and I work so hard. Like I work so hard. None of my albums, the way I put them together, you would think that I rushed or that I had a ton of stuff hidden in the cut and just threw it out there. But no, I really work hard.
Yes.
I work hard. Like I'm like a machine. I crank it out and like if I'm vibing, I create, I put it out there and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I do. But like I said, this album right here, uh, I dropped it on the 20th, which was like a few days ago, which was the Dr. King holiday. Um, it was also the day of the inauguration. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because I just felt like, from my standpoint, it was necessary. You know what I mean? Like, people needed something soulful. I'm not the only one dropping something soulful, and I'm not the only one that drops something soulful. But everybody that's dropping something soulful is not King Kamal, and I'm not them. So me, I dropped something soulful and some vibe music to help people get through uh, these next 4 years, you know, uh, because it's already starting off very interesting,
Yeah.
and it kind of reflects the first song on the album, Cinema. Like I said, you seeing a lot of characters, you seeing a lot of stuff where you like, man, is this real? You know what I mean?
Yes.
like I'm touching on those things. Like you can find something you can relate to in some kind of way on almost every song that's on the album. And like I said, gatekeepers, you know, if if you want hip hop culture, true hip hop culture to last and survive, we got to get rid of this gatekeeping mentality. Like, we don't just have to get rid of the gatekeepers, but we have to get rid of the gatekeeper mentality, because originally I always thought coming up that the underground was necessary, because not just because it was on some keep it real son type stuff, but it was also more along the lines of, the commercial won't let us in. The commercial got all this politics and BS and stuff like that, and being all unfair, where in the underground, come over here, man, we got love for you. Well, at least that's how it was in underground hip hop scenes in Chicago when we was getting it in on the south side of Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we was getting it in. We was like, yo, we don't make gangster music. We don't make this type of music and everything like that. We don't make stuff that's fit for commercial radio, and people ain't showing us no love, but we know we dope, and we know we got like authentic reality bars and stuff that the average everyday blue collar worker could actually like vibe to and feel. Like, you could listen to my stuff while you dropping your kids off. You could listen to my stuff while you by yourself just zoning. You know what I'm saying? You could even listen to my stuff while you rolling up, or while you cooking, or while you chilling with a significant other. It's like my album, just like all my other albums, but focusing on this album, it's like a good multivitamin. It's a plethora of various different like elements That's why the last song on the album is called Elements, like it's mirroring bits and pieces of all the spices and ingredients that I use all throughout the album. Like, of course, my shit is gonna be soulful because I'm from the Midwest. I'm from a
Yeah.
soulful part of the Midwest, which is Chicago. You got Chicago and you got Detroit, like some of the most soulful places in the Midwest. There's a certain soul that we got that can't be duplicated. That was in many of our ancestors who migrated from the South and brought it up to the Midwest, and it stayed within a lot of us. You know what I mean? Like the Curtis Mayfields and all that and everything. That's what we do, and I'm a representative of that. You know what I mean? And you know, I also want to take a moment to say that I appreciate y'all for even like tuning in, giving me an opportunity just as well as activated. Like, I'm grateful, I'm appreciative. Like, trust me, every song on the album is carefully thought out.
It definitely is. And speaking of which, we got a couple more songs to talk about too on the album too. So
Sure enough.
yeah. So next we have Darkness.
Oh yeah. Oh
Mm.
yeah. Oh yeah. Darkness. Darkness, everybody. Darkness is spreading.
I had a drink of wine on that one. I felt that.
You know what? Darkness, it's like I said, throughout the album, I no matter what I'm doing, I stop and remind people to remember your value. Remember your self value and don't let anybody play you or take you for granted, you know. And sometimes, you know, you have those people that'll be like, no, no, don't stoop to that person's level. Don't stoop to their level. And, you know, they be like, you know, they get on their Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. But, but, but even Michelle, you know, in the last like election days was like, bump that such and such and such. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
ain't
that's
going.
exactly the South Side of Chicago came out in her, man. Like, you know, Barack, you know, love to Barack, but Barack ain't Michelle.
No.
Michelle is 100% all the way South Side of Chicago, and there's just something in us where even when we're like the humble ones and not the goons and stuff like that, you know, it's only so much we'll tolerate. So the song Darkness is one of those things, you know, when you think of darkness, you think of death and negativity and stuff like that. But me, I, you know, being a person of the light, I traveled through darkness during darkest times, dealing with dark hearted people, dealing with people who were supposed to be, you know, positive, cool, and all that, you know, but wasn't really like having love for me like I thought they did, you know, in the whole nine. And seeing other people get done that way. And I just said, you know what? Sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. You know, you can't be, you can't walk around with white like gloves all the time and stuff like that and try to be, you know, politically and diplomatically correct in the whole nine.
Mhm.
Sometimes you got to get a little bit, you know, grimy and kind of pretty much show people that you've spent some time in the mud before, and let them know that, you know, just because you're positive, just because you're righteous, just because you're kind, just because you're civilized, you know, you're not afraid to go there and kind of remind them like, yo, don't try me. So that's what darkness is, man. Darkness is it's one of them tracks where it's like, you know, hey man, don't, you know, don't try me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you have people that'll continue to try you, that'll continue to manipulate, continue to use you, continue to say slick stuff and all that and everything, and continue to slight you because they know you're not that type of person. until you become that type of person, and then it's not fun anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean? So sometimes we have to embrace our dark side without letting it consume us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying embrace negativity. I'm not saying embrace anything that's the opposite of, a civilized or God mentality and stuff like that. I'm more so saying that sometimes you gotta go, sometimes you can't be like, hey man, stop that. You
Yeah.
shouldn't do this.
No.
Sometimes you gotta reach in your bag and be like, yo, who you fucking with?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Straight
saying?
up.
Fuck is wrong with this nigga? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Sometimes you got to do that because sometimes people will get it twisted and let the smooth taste fool them and stuff like that. And they'll try you in different ways and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said, everybody got scars that cut deep as art. You know what I'm saying? Like true art is deep and it cuts into you real deep and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said everybody got war wounds that cut deep as art. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an artist and I was painting a picture with it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't specifically talking about anybody because I'm a person that I don't believe in throwing rocks and hiding my hands. But
Right.
if you felt touched in any kind of way, you know, I'm not a hard person to get in contact with if you have any questions. If you one of these rapper niggas and stuff like that and feel like you want to get something off of your chest, you know what I'm saying? And that's not even no tough guy talk. Like I had not too long ago, I had a culture vulture um who who's a failed rapper that had about 11 followers trying to stun on me named Bipolar. Like I wasn't gonna
Yes.
say his name, but I'll say his name just to entertain him. Like
Yeah.
he's a trash rapper from Russia, and he's the result of what you get when you invite anybody to the cookout. We as black people, we as original people, we as black and brown people and original people in general, we have to stop getting so excited when people outside of our community can do what we do and invite them to the cookout. And to our white brothers and sisters and whatnot who like real and official and thorough with it, you know, don't hesitate to call them out when you come across a bipolar. Bipolar is like the result of, like I said, when you get in the hood and you get a few black friends and you get too comfortable, you know, and like when he and I were getting into it because he felt like he could approach me and tell me about my music when he's never accomplished anything, the guy was throwing certain racial slurs out, like calling me boy and all that and everything. Like people that support his music need to know this. I'm not saying, the brothers and sisters that rock with him need to know this because those are people who give him passes and give these type of culture vultures like Vlad and all them and everything passes to where they feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And we got to stop doing that because me, I come from an FOI background. Like before I was like, a 5% of true and living and stuff like that, I was already civilized. I was an FOI. I came out of Temple number 2 under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and whatnot. Many people try to talk what they talk about him. I don't care. That man changed my life. And I have a civilized mentality and I know a vulture and I know a colonizer mentality when I see one. So darkness is for people like that. That song Darkness is for people like that. You know what I mean? So to my black and brown people, all my original people and all my white brothers and sisters who true hip hop and true to the culture, stop inviting these people to the cookout. or stop telling them that they got to pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not cool because we teach people how to treat us. We show people how to treat us. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like with this song Darkness, you can show people better than you can tell them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a tough guy. I ain't a big mouth or nothing like that. But I'm definitely one of those people where even if I go down, in any situation, you're still going to know from me bringing you to that dark side that you provoked that you won't ever underestimate a peaceful and kind person like me ever again.
That's right. I felt it. And I got to say something too about that particular individual. They reached out to me first.
Yeah.
A Black queen reached out to me, talking to me any type of way, telling me what I need to do and what not to do, and then got mad at me because I respectfully, professionally called him out and he got mad at me. But what's the old saying? Hit dogs will holler. Don't reach out to me on some BS. I'm not with it. I even had him on this show, which yes, I've deleted that episode. Don't come here, being a culture vulture, disrespecting me, disrespecting my artists, or anybody for that matter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. Like AJ Throwback said, everybody doesn't belong in the culture, and we definitely got to protect it, from being compromised by those who don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got like being in our hip hop culture, it's like it's not a sorority, it's not a fraternity, it's not a club. It's not a how can I be down club. It's like either you hip hop or you not. Either you hip hop or you not. And if you hip hop, you don't have to have a group of Black homies. You don't have to have a Black significant other to feel like you can talk to other Black people a particular kind of way, dude. You need to respect the culture and respect the people of the culture. Respect the Black and brown. You know what I'm saying? Respect the Black and brown. Respect the white folks that put their heart into becoming part of the culture and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's real, man. You know what I mean? So Darkness was one of them songs where I was like, nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna put this song on an album. Not gonna do it. But then, it was like when certain things got moved around and certain tracks and whatnot got refreshed and mixed and mastered and everything like that, what I'm saying? Manager was like, yo, you really should. And I said, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on here. And it was like one of the best decisions that I could have ever made creative wise. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So next we've got Story of My Life featuring DNA.
Yeah. Story of My Life. Story of My Life is a song with me and the battle rapper from Queens, DNA. A phenomenal like lyricist, battle rapper, and everything like that. Like, DNA is one of my favorite, if not, he's in my top 5, but one of the most underrated, dopest battle rappers and stuff. My verse and the concept of the song is about addiction. People, all of us at some point in time or still struggle with some form of addiction, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's sugar, whether it's being, all wrapped up in working out, but not for the right reasons and stuff, and people, being vain and stuff, or drug addiction. Like, my verse was about drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, my oldest brother struggled with, which some of my, family members, struggled with. and I saw a lot of it around me, like in the neighborhood, like growing up. And I just wanted to come from that angle and just kind of touch on how it's it's a struggle, you know what I mean? And it's like you trying to get clean, you know what I'm saying? And you trying to be right with it and stuff. You ain't trying to be perfect, but you trying to make it through the day and try to get to the next day and all that. But at the same time, it's kind of like that with every addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, say if you went on a diet today and said, I'm not eating this, I'm not eating that. And then you doing so good and close to the end of the day, you eat a little bit of something and it just open the floodgates and you completely pig out and stuff. And you be like, I messed up. You don't throw the whole diet away. You get back up, dust yourself off, and you keep it pushing and try to like go the next day and try to do better. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the guy Malik Allah. Think he had a question.
Yes. Do you think the respect is not given because they don't know, or or are they just being disrespectful? They're being disrespectful. They know.
I think well, first of all, peace, God.
Peace.
I think based upon patterns that I've seen, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And I used to be the type of person where I would call people out respectfully. Like respectfully, I would call people out. I would be like, hey man, yo, why you doing this? Hey man, why it seem like you doing this? Hey man, do you have an issue with what I'm doing, or do you have an issue with me, or is it a reason why you doing this? And you know, in the old school, they always said if you had a problem with your brother or your sister, you pull them to the side and you talk to them and you ask them. But that was back in the days. That shit don't work no more. You know, sometimes when you approach people, not everybody, but when you approach some people, it makes them more angry. It makes them more defensive. I don't know. Maybe if you approach them and ask them, like, yo, man, what type of time are you on? Like, why do it seem like you being this way and stuff? You know, you have some people, instead of them saying, yeah, I got a problem, and let me tell you why. Because I'm that type of person. If you come to me and I really have an issue and stuff like that, I'm gonna be like, yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. But we live in a day and age now where a lot of people know exactly what the hell they're doing. And then if you respectfully approach them on it, a lot of times they're gonna be, a lot of times they're gonna lie, and they probably later, I guess, feel like you pulled their coattail or you pulled their card, and they start getting mad, and they probably start building up like what they would have done and what they should have done. And before you know it, they create something in their mind where like, yo, he just tried to chump me. And nobody tried to chump you. You had an opportunity to speak your truth and keep it real, but you didn't. You know what I mean? So no, man. I've seen a lot of these lists. I've seen a lot of these lists, like I said, that are floating around for lyricists and stuff. And I don't care about being left off lists and stuff for lyricists, for a bunch of people that haven't really accomplished much outside of the 10 people they know or the 12 people they know. You know what I'm saying? Because I've accomplished more on my own as an independent person and a hip hop loner and stuff like that. I've accomplished way more than they probably will ever accomplish in my younger years, in my middle age years, and in my older years and whatnot. I accomplished it. It took me longer to get there, but I accomplished it. You know what I mean? So I don't, you know, I don't get why a lot of these people do what they do, maybe because, you know, it's in their nature to be a hater. You know what I'm saying? Just like every white person ain't racist, every black person ain't for the culture. All skin folk ain't your kinfolk. Black or brown, I don't care. Original is original. I know, and I'm not FBA. I'm just saying that Original is original, black, brown, yellow, and all that, and then some. But if you rotten, no matter what your shade is rotten. Don't get mad at me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I call that shit out. I call that shit out. You know what I mean? Like, and it's it's cool. But no, to answer your question, I don't think that it's out of ignorance. You know, I don't think that they don't know. I think that a lot of these people don't respect me on purpose, intentionally, but I'm not going away. Just because you don't rock with me or just because you don't respect me, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go away. And just because you don't rock with me and you don't respect me or you don't share my music or you don't this, that, and the third and all of that childish stuff, that's not going to make my music be whack. I'm a bump. While you hate, I'm going to throw out another solid, high quality album that's going to live forever long after I'm gone. You can't do nothing. That's why I said Pharaoh gems. You know, Pharaoh gems are like ashes when I'm gone. Niggas hate what I make, but they can't duplicate this song. Finger snaps.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's what it is. Like even when I'm gone in the physical form, my music will still be there. Sometimes it takes for people to be gone for people to actually find out about their music and appreciate it. And let me be clear, I ain't throwing that out into the universe because I ain't trying to go nowhere no
Nah.
time soon.
Nah.
let me be clear. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to be clear, like, because me being the sole controller of the universe, I'm not speaking anything out into the universe that speaks destruction and demise of anyone, especially not of myself.
No, it's timeless music, you know?
Yeah,
Timeless. That's
yeah, yeah.
that's what it is. All right. So next we have Beware.
Beware. Yeah, Beware was a song that I did with a very, very phenomenal rapper out of Minneapolis named Benny Crooks. Man, what can I say? Benny Crooks, it was another one of those situations where I used to see Benny Crooks, you know, randomly like at shows that we both were performing at or where we were going to go support the same people or different people in the same spot. And, you know, I told him, I was like, yo, you know, he respected what I did. I respected what he did. And I told him, I was like, yo, man, I always wanted to work with you, you know, since I heard you, you know, and, you know, it happened like a situation that was cool happened where he was selling merch and I was like, yo, he was like, thanks, man, you know, appreciate you, bro, this, that, and the third. And I was like, yo, can I get a verse? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not too, and that's another thing, I'm not a prideful person. Like, if I want to get a verse from you and I'm really rocking with you and I'm really feeling what you're doing and I appreciate what you do, why wouldn't I want to work with you? Even if you charge, I expect you to charge, not do anything free like some of these people that only want to rock with you if it's free, but when it comes time to pay, they don't want to pay you, but they'll turn right around and go pay for a download or something of a rapper that they don't even know and can't even talk to. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So when the opportunity presented itself to work with Benny Crooks, that's what it was. Like we were talking about in the song, a lost, promiscuous, out there type of individual, that did certain things or does certain things and put themselves in a situation where they play themselves. He came from his angle with it. I came from my angle with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there are various forms of manipulation, and you have people like that in that song Beware that will use, what they got to get what they want and stuff like that. whether it be sex, whether it be all these different seductive things and stuff like that. I mean, it's the game. It's what it is. It's, it's a hustle, and it also talks about, if you don't have the stomach for it, then don't get involved with it. And if you come across a person like this, beware. You know what I'm saying? Like the title say, beware. Know how to handle that. Know how to govern yourself. If you going if you gonna roll around in the mud, be prepared for like the ants and stuff and all the different things that come with rolling around in the mud. Like Floyd Mayweather said, protect yourself at all times. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Liberated Soul Rebel, he said something. If something about It's something about taking the road less traveled that you, general, have to respect. I know I sound like a broken record, but what the brother is saying hits home on many levels. I appreciate you. I do, man. Like I always tell people, if I could define what I call my music, aside from soulful and hip hop and all that, I like to call what I make is human frailty. Human frailty, meaning that, you know, flaws, perfections, good, bad, negatives, positives, but at the end of it all, you see that I'm human just like you, and I deal with some of the same stuff. Maybe not all stuff, but a lot of the same things that you may deal with or somebody close to you might deal with. So, you know, that's why when I speak or when I create what I create, even if you don't like all of my songs, you still feel me. You're never gonna listen to my stuff and be like, man, I ain't feeling this dude. Like if you're really into music, even if you don't like some of the songs, in general as an artist, I'm gonna be like, man, you got to feel me though. You may not like this, but you got to feel me. I got a lot of music out there to where it's always gonna be something where you be like, yo, I feel like I know this dude. I feel like he my long lost cousin. I feel like he
Yeah.
my neighbor across the street. I feel like he that dude that live upstairs that play music too loud and stuff like that. And I want to like go up there and choke him out, tell him turn it down. But when I go up there, I realize he the cool neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, I don't mean no harm whatsoever, man. Like I'm that cousin. I'm that cousin. I'm that long lost relative and whatnot that you learn about later on in life that you should have known sooner and should rock with. And that's what my music like represents, man. You know what I'm saying? It's from the soul for real people, everyday people.
Absolutely. Something
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. And, I keep saying it, but timeless, you know what I mean? And we got to give you shout outs through the harmonizing that you were doing throughout this album, too, as per usual. Yeah, versatile, straight
Hey,
up.
hey, don't say it too loud because the backpackers they don't like you singing unless you Most Def or unless you Royce 5'9" or other lyricists that could sing and whatnot. Like backpackers are underground cats. They're like very biased. It's like this person could do this, but this person can't do it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what you talking about? When they do it, it's dope and you know it's dope. But when I do it, you know what I mean? Like, why you kind of like shunning me and stuff? You know, it's not my fault that I'm not just a MC. It's not my fault that I'm a singer. It's not my fault that I'm a songwriter. It's not my fault that I'm a plethora of various different things that are creative regarding music. Like I'm like a melting pot of everything I grew up listening to and things that I listened to through each decade that I've been alive, and I never stopped creating. I never stopped evolving, and anything that I thought was dope and soulful and was inspired by the root of what made me fall in love with soul music and hip hop and all that from the beginning. Anything that remotely was close to that through each generation it's like I latched on to that, and we all get inspired. Same way we get inspired by our environment,
Mm-hmm.
I got inspired through each decade and each like stage of hip hop to where it was in me. I wasn't trying to imitate anything or nothing like that. It's just I was inspired by that real shit, and I came up what I came up with. And I'm sorry if I surpassed a lot of y'all who only know how to rap or only know how to rap but don't know how to make songs. I'm sorry I know how to make songs. I'm sorry I know how to uh harmonize and all that and stuff. I'm sorry that I know how to rearrange stuff. I'm sorry that if you put me on a track with you and you start spitting and you think I'm gonna spit, I'm gonna turn around and start singing, but it's still gonna sound dope. I'm sorry that I think outside the box. You know what I mean? There'll be time one day, no time soon,
Mm-hmm.
one day there'll be time for me to rest inside of a box. But until I'm still roaming around in the physical form, I'm gonna think outside the box. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like come on, man. Knowledge is infinite. Knowledge is infinite. And what I know and what I've learned is infinite. There's no limitation in what I do sonically when I create. That's what I do.
Absolutely. It's, just evolvement. You can't just be stuck in one thing. If people, spent a lot less time on that energy hating and maybe more time, the energy to build on their craft, they might,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
better, work on
yeah,
the craft.
yeah. But there's nothing wrong with only knowing how to rap.
No, not
But
at
if you
all.
but if you're gonna be one of those people, instead of hating, find different ways to rap. Like surpass and break your own level that you're high up on, like Eminem and all of those like iconic people have done, to where they're so high up there as lyricists that there's nobody that can compete with them, like Eminem, like the Locksmiths, like uh King Crooked. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those cats that are like on that lyrical level. You know what I mean? Like those dudes like are on a level. Royce the 5'9", all those dudes are on a high level of lyricism, to where if the only thing they wanted to do is rhyme, they could do it because they've mastered it. And they've mastered it so much to where nobody can touch them or say, man, you ever thought about doing something else? No, like that's them. They've mastered it. You know what I mean? But if you ain't that person, you know, don't get mad at me because you only know how to do mid mid bars, and when you sound like the mad rapper, you sounding angry and stuff like that, and you stunting and shunning people who can harmonize a bit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not people's fault that they have more gifts than rhyming, or they have different ways to rhyme, while you just sound like an angry rapper that's still stuck in the early 90s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Timberland boot music.
Yes, yes. Yeah, people, change your energy. I'm telling you, it will change your life. Change your energy. Stop the hating. You know.
Yes, you got to. Yeah, you got to, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I love Tim's, I love fatigues and stuff, but that's an era that ain't never coming back. And, embrace change. Like anything that's not growing is dead. You know what I'm saying? So what, you want to walk around and be an angry person because other people have found creative ways and different ways to elevate the art that people are trying to declare is dead already.
Yeah.
You know, Heart of a King.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of which, the final track, Finger Snaps. The
Elements.
elements.
Elements. Elements. Like I said, what can I say about elements that I haven't already said? Everything throughout this album are elements, meaning bits and pieces of what makes me what and who I am as a person inside the booth and the person outside the booth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a real person. Like, I'm not, a commercial artist or on a commercial level, like where I'm hard to touch. Everything that I experience outside the booth and everything I experience inside the booth and everything I experienced throughout the years, good, bad, challenges, things that made me better, things that would have broke a lot of people, things that may have broke me at times, but I was able to get back up and put myself back together and everything like that. All of that is the elements of what make me who I am. You know what I mean? So that's what the elements represents. Bits and pieces of everything that makes me who I am as a righteous person, not a person that doesn't, have my hangups and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a righteous person, not a religious person. No, and not knocking anybody who is, but you know, that's how I get down.
Absolutely, being your true self. Oh yes, liberated soul. Yes, yeah. Take it easy. Good live. I'll be tuning in to both of y'all. Country boy, laugh out loud. That's all right. I'm from the Midwest too. We good. Appreciate what
All
y'all
love.
are doing. Hope the best.
Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
For
Appreciate you.
sure. Love to
That's
everybody
cool.
that checked in. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's what elements is, and it's the element track and whatnot, and the elements. You know, of all the elements used in all these songs is the essence of the king that I am. So that 11th track, 11th alphabet, king, and the album was released on, you know, the 20th, which was the celebration of a very important king in history. You know what I mean? And I felt that it was only right.
Truly, truly. Perfect release, dope album, truly dope, So, always doing your thing. And it was a great start, for 2025 as well.
For sure. For sure.
Definitely, definitely. It was, wonderful having you back on, breaking this, breaking the album down for everybody as well. And, shout out to everybody who came on the live showing love too.
Yeah, love, man. Love to all, hate for none. Love to all, hate for none. Let me say it one more time. Love to all, hate for none. If I spoke about you, you know, and you really, like Cat Williams said, you know, if you didn't like what I said about you, maybe you should have treated me better. You know what I'm saying? And I don't throw shots, I don't throw jabs, and uh, I don't sneak this. I don't do any of that, not in interviews, not in songs or any of that. Trust me, if I didn't rock with you, you would know that I didn't rock with you. Like, you would know. It wouldn't take an interview to know that I didn't rock with you. And even if I don't rock with you, or I don't rock with you no more, or never rock with you, I don't have no hate in my heart for you. I don't. I don't. Most of the people that don't like me are people that I once went hard for and championed and supported. Like, I got nothing but love in my heart of a king.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the real, the real genuine true ones that's left,
Thank
honestly.
you.
Honestly, before we go and before we close out with gatekeepers too, you want to let everybody know where to find you because we had some new people tune in.
Oh, of course, yeah. King Kamal Hip Hop. On all social media, you know what I'm saying? KingKamalHipHop.com for all, right there at the bottom. The more you know, You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you can find it all there, man, there and all streaming platforms and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know, due to the fact that there's a lot of like wannabes out there and stuff, like trying to like use my name on some of these streaming platforms. Don't, I repeat, don't think that it's my album if my face isn't on it.
Absolutely.
That is the reason why that is the reason why all my album covers have my face, because sometimes you got people that try to imitate my likeness and they put albums out there pretending to be me when they're not. Oh, peace to the other guy, Malik Allah. That's my day one right there. Peace to God. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this was a beautiful and wonderful like interview. And like I said, I'm humble and I'm grateful to be, you know, a guest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. You know, thank you for having me on. Thank you for sharing your platform with me and going through, you know, the whole like, you know, different dimensions of the album and all that. And yeah, everybody check out the album. I promise you. When I say I promise you, you will not be disappointed. The songs aren't too long, but they're long enough and they're just right.
Absolutely. I definitely, got to thank you too, King. Always coming on with that great energy, dope vibes, extreme, talent. Is always wonderful having you on. You were truly activated alumni. So, obviously you'll probably be back again. That's what
Oh yeah, yeah. If I got some more hot fire like Dylan, you know, I hopefully I'll be back. You know what I mean?
Always welcome back. You know how we do. It's activated. People enjoy it. We get a lot of great comments from people with the energy. So, we appreciate the support. We're just going to keep it going,
Indeed. Always.
Indeed. Peace and love again to everybody who tapped in. And, we're going to close this out with Gatekeepers too. How about that?
Peace.
Peace and love, everybody. Let's go.
For self, perish, nigga. Let's take a moment, we could gather our thoughts. Let's fly beyond the sky, pure exceptional talk. No smoking mirrors, no fear, distraught. Nonsense, calmness, mind traveling, all, let's get it. Who gon' help me out when I helped everybody out? Hits the blunt, don't y'all all speak at once? I put myself in jams, hard for me to even talk about. Fucking dunce, plenty far, feeling slumped. Gave many my last, it wasn't always cash. When I fell on hard time, they was gone like an ash. And the wind that just passed down, broke with no cast. Crutches, brace, and sling, I still survived the crash. Miracle working in search of my damn dreams. Sorta like trapped in nightmares and can't scream. Injected my whole being into everything I love. Gifts, talent, people, good, evil, they got crushed up. Can't trust the people, most politicians be lying, dog. Black, brown, Jewish women, they be frying all. Characters, no barriers for ivory tone. Men filled with hate and the arson of chromes. From black churches to Charleston, synagogue to Pittsburgh. The hate behind the slave trade exists behind shit heard. Cats in MAGA hats still carrying the trait. Lewis once exposed, but you claiming he hate. Wait, let's take a moment, we could gather our thoughts. Let's fly beyond the sky, pure exceptional talk. No smoking mirrors, no fear of distraught. Nonsense, calmness, mind traveling all. Let's get it, even if nobody else does. Spirits broke as a youth, never knew what wealth was. Fictitious religious books, many felt could help us. Precious gems in the winter, what elders tell us. Birth to burial, shine, we got areas. Light, graceful beauty within, there's no miracles. So much negativity in this day and age. Fed by fear and rage, hitting, spilling like a wave. On the shore, let's restore all the love we crave. Don't look to rappers, half them actors, and that shit be fake. Entertaining, sustaining funds and lifestyles. Half them followers are sleeping like lights out. Let's take a moment, we could gather our thoughts. Let's fly beyond the sky, pure exceptional talk. No smoking mirrors, no fear, distraught. Nonsense, calmness, mind traveling, all, let's get it. I ain't judging, I got my own baggage. Unpack your own luggage, this is conversation lasting. Some but few rapping, screw the True passion, quantum leap over sheep. Who'd ever think it happened? Like, let's take a moment, we could gather our thoughts. Let's fly beyond the sky, pure exceptional talk. No smoking mirrors, no fear of distraught. Nonsense, calmness, mind traveling off. Let's get it. Arm, leg, a arm, head. I say, true and living God, hit away the mental dead. Arm, leg, a arm, head. I say, it's the true and living, here to wake the mental dead. Here to wake the mental dead. And you heard what I said. You got to do for self, and nobody else can save you.